Okay, we're back for more hypertrophy work. This will be upper body day. We're going to choose chest for today. Similar kind of concept. We're going to start with an exercise that's going to allow us to get a mind-muscle connection with the chest. And then we're going to work on, kind of expending ourselves on one major exercise and then go back to a stretch. So the one I picked here is going to be this chest press machine. Oddly enough, we didn't do any bench presses with a straight bar. I don't think it's the best exercise to build hypertrophy.
When you were training with flex, you didn't do any straight bar stuff?
Didn't do any straight bar stuff. I think it's particularly because as a power lifter, when you're bringing the elbows in, you're using a lot of shoulder in that movement, but you're not getting as much range of motion because the bar will stop you right here. So we're going to go with an exercise that gives us a greater range of motion. Hop in here, and this one's going to be a little slower with a contraction. We're going to be focused mostly on the chest. I want to keep the sternum up, the shoulders out of the movement.
Sure,
I don't want to be
we can use machines
cratering
to get jacked.
in. Machines can get you jacked.
You know what you're talking about?
Yeah, Phil knows what he's talking about.
In close or out wide? Which way you want?
Whatever's preferable to you, it doesn't matter. It's going to engage the chest much the same. There you go. And the idea here is the range of motion. We're going to be able to get deeper than we would with a barbell press, and we're going to go a little slower. We're going to contract at the top. We're going to squeeze right here. There we go. And sometimes you even initiate a little bit of that mind-muscle connection just by giving him something to focus on here. There we go.
He's copping a cheap feel.
And we're sternum up, shoulders back. So we're not trying to crowd the shoulders. There we go. We just cue that with chest up. We aren't intentionally doing a really slow negative necessarily, but we're staying within control of the weight. 2 to 6 seconds for the full rep is really fine. That's kind of the range in which I think is optimal, or such the research suggests, and it's kind of where we always train. Not too fast, and there's no need to go down too slow, those 5 or 8 second negatives.
And there's no stopping at the top or bottom, right?
No, try and keep tension on the muscle. And again, the focus of this one is just to be thinking the whole time about stretching and contracting the chest, so the top in particular. And really with the chest, it's going to be, and we'll see this on the fly movements, it's about bringing the elbows in, not necessarily the hands in this movement. Contract the elbows, try and squeeze a piece of paper in between the pecs right here. Good. And we normally do 3 sets there, less than a 2-minute rest, probably 90 seconds. In between sets, this is key. This is similar to what we did with the leg movements. You're going to want to take just any old place and just put your arm like this and stretch that pec right here. Just keep it at stretch. There you go. Ooh. Just twist your body a little bit. We'll do one side for 10 seconds. We'll do the other side for 10 seconds. So in between sets now, again, we're getting more of the stretch movement.
And hey, it's not bad. You get a little stretching work in too, right? None of us like to do that.
And the next exercise would be our bread and butter. We'll go over to the dumbbell slight incline press, and that way we can put a little more load, plus we're going to be able to get a better range of motion.
How's that for incline? Okay.
Yeah, I would do a little less incline just because I don't want to grab too much shoulder into the movement.
Maybe there?
Yeah, perfect.
And then 60 pounds or something?
We're just looking for something you can get at least a dozen reps with.
All right.
I like to keep more repetitions in these movements. It can be a little humbling. I was the guy who always wanted to go grab the 200-pound dumbbells, but I don't think I ever used more than a 90 or 100 the whole time I trained with flex, and my chest was the fullest it had ever been. Now the great thing about the dumbbell work is you get independent movement on your shoulders. When you grab a bar, then what this arm does, what this arm has to do, and so if you have any issues with your shoulders, then you'll aggravate those with a regular bench press. Here, these shoulders are allowed to make small adjustments necessary so that you can be pain-free. You can also use kind of a modified neutral grip if you want. You can bring that grip so the palms are facing each other if you want. Whatever it takes to eliminate the pain. sternum up, big stretch in the chest. Bringing those weights together and touching the middle is not of a benefit, to be honest with you, because now you've taken the load off of the chest when they're here. I try and just bring them up and squeeze the chest. Nice, and a big stretch. And we'd really just kind of go until we couldn't do another rep, or if we could actually predict what our last rep was. Generally what happens is in predicting within a rep of failure, what you look for is that your speed dramatically slows.
Whoa.
When you start initially doing the movement, you're using type 1 and type 2A fibers. As you do more and more reps, you're recruiting more and more muscle fiber, till eventually you're recruiting the 2X fibers. And those are your fast twitch fibers. Those are the ones that have the most capacity for hypertrophy. And you want to get there. You have to recruit those in order to get the best benefits from hypertrophy. Once you've recruited all those muscle fibers and they go to fail, you'll notice a significant decrease in speed.
Yep.
Once you notice that decrease in speed, you've recruited everything and some are starting to fail. You're done. You've done all you can do.
Diminished your strength quite a bit too.
You've created an adequate stimulus for growth, so that's plenty. I'm not opposed to people going to failure. The problem again is it creates more fatigue that you may not then recover from, particularly in light of the fact that you're going to be doing daily doubles and splits, which is optimal for bodybuilding training.
And ideally for hypertrophy, you're looking for every 3 to 5 days hitting a muscle, right?
Yeah.
Bigger muscles, 5 days probably.
Hit every muscle twice a week if you can. And if you do too much damage in any one workout, then you're not going to be able to do another workout within that 96-hour, 72 to 96-hour time frame. So in between these sets, same thing. He could do a stretch on any piece of equipment or on a wall. He's just going to try and stretch that pec. He's just going to turn his body, just trying to stretch the pec out. And we'll run at about a 2-minute rest period in between sets as well. At first, your weights are going to start to go down. You're going to notice that on the second set, you might only be able to do like 4 reps or 6 reps. You'll have to go grab the 50s or the 40s. Again, within a few weeks of doing this twice a week, you'll notice that your subsequent sets, you'll be able to do more reps. You'll start to adapt a little better. That's just another way to overload the body. Once we've done our probably 3 sets here and really busted all of these out, then we'll finish with a movement that's a stretch movement, such as a pec deck.
Oh, got it.
You have a fly?
I'm going to go to the 50s.
You want to do one more here?
Yeah, I'll do one more.
So, because of he's already got a big pump, he's not going to be able to do as many reps here. I still want to get at least 12 reps, and so we're just going to have to lighten the load a little bit. Over time, you'll adapt to this style of training and may be able to use the same weight for more sets.
Woo, I feel that. Ever any flexing in between?
You could do that as well, or finish. We use the pose at the end, but it's just more about pumping more and more blood into the muscle during the workout. This is a completely different stimulus than powerlifting. I remember I was in Germany training with a guy there, and at the end of a bench workout, he said, "Do you want to do something else?" I said, "Oh, you want to go do a cable crossover?" He looked at me like I was crazy. You don't stretch your muscles when you're powerlifting. You keep those things as stiff and tight as possible so you can maximize that stretch reflex, so that your muscles have those spindles on there that can see the rate of change. And as soon as you stretch those things, you want them snapping back. That's your stretch reflex. And we take advantage of that in powerlifting. We purposely avoid the pump. And we purposely don't want to get over flexible, because you have to control that range of motion. We want that stretch reflex. In bodybuilding, just the opposite. You want to get a great range of motion to recruit all the muscle tissue that you possibly can. So we do that here.
And then crossover now?
Yep, and we'll finish with a cable crossover, a stretching exercise under load.
Whoops. And there we go, ba-bam.
Set your pins there. What do you like?
Probably like 50 pounds or something would be good.
Yeah.
Don't need a lot on this.
Now we've selected this exercise to be one of the most stretching exercises. So he's going to stretch those pecs out. When you bring those together, I want you to be thinking about the elbows together, not the hands.
Okay.
Thinking about the elbows. You might not even be able to contract all the way. That might be it.
I see.
And that's going to contract your chest. The initial reps, you may be able to touch your hands, but as the set progresses, you might not be able to. What's most important is the elbows, because we're shooting for this contraction right here. And when that's completely contracted, then it's done. You know, it's completely contracted. You don't have to worry about whether your hands touch or not. Big thing here is the stretch. Back nice and deep. Big thing here is the stretch. And a lot of folks do this exercise and they don't go to failure or within a rep of failure, and you should. This isn't something, there's no such thing as just toning. It doesn't work that way. Your muscles respond. Your muscles respond to load and volume and stress through hypertrophy, through building.
Yeah, my pecs are shot. I feel that really good.
Yeah. So the key thing we found today is that the load doesn't necessarily matter. You can get hypertrophy from 5, from 10 to 12, or from 20, just
Yeah,
as
that
we
was
talked about
absolutely
with the
brutal.
legs.
Like I felt a pump as soon as we left the machine and went to the dumbbell, incline dumbbell, first 4 reps, I started to feel it already.
Yeah. You want to get that mind-muscle connection before you go to dumbbells, otherwise people tend to incorporate too much shoulder and back into the movement. They're rounding around, and the weight doesn't matter.
So this kind of thing would be great for
50s.
somebody who has a chest that's like a weak point. They don't have a big, thick chest. This might be a good idea.
Absolutely. Yeah, the fullest my chest ever was, and I had benched 600 pounds before working with flex. The fullest my chest ever was, I never went over a 90-pound dumbbell training that modest incline press with doing that work with him. We did a lot of this stretching between sets. We did a little more volume, a little more repetitions per set, a little shorter rest periods, 2 minutes, 90 seconds, 2 minutes, and then more frequency, twice a week, every week. So, those are the fundamentals for hypertrophy. Started out with the mind-muscle connection. We went to a blast set with a great range of motion, lots of stretching, finished with a stretching exercise.
So let me see if I got all this straight. So take tons of pre-workout because you didn't sleep adequately the night before.
Yep.
And go in and train for 2.5 hours.
Yep.
And
skip dinner.
Yeah. Don't give yourself enough nutrition.
Yep.
And then wonder why you're not making progress. That kind of the steps that we're going through?
Yeah, but take some creatine, it makes up for all of it.
Take some supplements. Guys, follow along with the vertical diet. The diet, he's not just giving you a diet, he's giving you sleep recommendations. He's talking about hydration. He's talking about how to recover from these workouts. You need to be able to have good workouts. I myself have fallen down the rabbit hole of trying to lift as much weight as possible and killing myself that way, but I've also fallen down the rabbit hole of trying to weigh as low as possible and doing a keto diet and doing fasting and doing all these different things. And there's a time and place for everything. However, I see a lot of people that are under eating and underperforming in the gym. If you can't train hard, there's something wrong with your nutrition and you need to check out the vertical diet. Strength is never weakness, weakness is never strength. Catch you guys later.